Lesson 5, Posts and Pages. You started a blog to share your thoughts with the world, and the best way to do that is to write a post. So let's get started. There are a couple of ways to start a new post. You can click New Post at the top here, or what I'm going to do is click on Posts in the navigation menu. This takes us to the Posts Management screen, where we can see our existing posts. As you can see, there are 2 posts on this blog at the moment. They're both published at the moment, as you can tell by looking at the date column that tells us when it was written and published. This column tells us how many comments are on this post. This lists what tags are on the post, categories, who is the author, and of course the title. Now you can edit a post by hovering over it and clicking edit, or you can do quick edit, which I'll show you right now. Quick edit gives you a quick way to edit certain things of the post. You can edit the title, the slug, which I'll tell you what that is in a moment, the date the post was published, the author. You can set a password or make it private. I'll tell you what those mean in a second. You can add categories. You can also add tags and disallow comments or pings and change the status. You can also make the post sticky right from here. But what we're going to do is actually create a new post. So click Add New. This takes us to the Add New Post screen. You can see the cursors put automatically into the Enter Title Here box, which of course is where the title of your post goes. For this post, we're going to enter a title of This is Our Title. You'll notice as soon as I moved the cursor from the title field to the post body field, a permalink showed up underneath the title, and this tells me what the permalink of this post will be. And This is Our Title is actually the slug of the post. If you click edit, you can change that to make it whatever you like. WordPress will automatically take your title that you've entered, remove any URL unsafe characters, and replace spaces with dashes, and create your slug for you. The body of your post goes right here. So let's type something. This is an awesome blog post. OMG. Fantastic. I'm a writer. Now down here you have a bunch of menu items that allow you to do things to text or to the post. So if you highlight this, you can press the bold button and bold it. You can press the italics button, italicize it, and you can press the strike through button to strike through. You can also add lists. So now this is a list item, and we can add another item right here. And you hit enter twice to end the list, and here's a number item. Numbers. Type in this is a quote, highlight it, and hit this button, which makes that a quote. These 3 buttons cover text alignment, so this is left, centered, and right. By default it is left, and I'm going to keep it that way. Now these 2 buttons allow you to add links. So if you highlight a word, click this, now you can add a link to something. That's my blog. You can set the target to open in a new window or open in the same window, or not set. If you don't set it, it'll open it in the same window. You can set a title if you like baby, and that'll show up when you hover over the link. And you can set a class, which is a CSS term to stylize the link. We actually don't have any classes, so we're just going to leave it as not set. Click insert, and now that is a link. It's very exciting. If we decided, hey, we don't want that to be a link, we click this, we highlight it, click the break link button, and it removes the link. You've probably come across blog posts where you've had to click a link to read more of the blog post, and that's because they're using a more tag, and you can do the very same thing by clicking here, and now everything above this more dotted line is going to be above the fold, as they say, or on your blog post page. The rest will only show up on the post page itself. And no text editing box will be complete without spell check. So you can see, obviously, I spelled item wrong. I did that on purpose so that I could show you spell check suggestions. You can also use full screen mode. So click that. Now the post field takes up the entire window, so you can just concentrate on posting away. You click it again, toggles it off. This last button is called the kitchen sink button, and it shows you another line of icons that you can format things with. First thing you see is the format menu that allows you to apply a number of different formats: headers, pre-formatted text, address, and paragraph things. You can also underline, you can select full alignments, and you can set text colors. So let's make that red. There we are. The next two icons allow you to paste in text from other areas. So let's say you have some text from a word processor that you want to paste into the post, but you're afraid of formatting that may have come from that application. Just click the paste as plain text icon, paste in your text here, click insert, and it will remove any formatting. Now if you're copying from Word, there's a special paste from Word button. Copy the text from Word, paste it in here, and it will remove any of the formatting that Word includes. Let's say you don't want this to be read anymore, you can click the remove formatting button, and it will remove any of the formatting that you've done. And you'll notice it also removed the underlining because it removes all formatting. The little film strip allows you to insert a movie, so you can pick from QuickTime, Shockwave, Windows Media, Real Media, or Flash. As long as you have the URL, you paste the URL in there and the dimensions, and it'll preview it for you. Now, sometimes you want to add a character, maybe a pound symbol or a euro symbol. You can click the character palette and choose a custom character. As you can see, this also includes accented characters, which is awfully useful. The next pair of buttons, indents and outdents text, should you have those needs. And finally, this is an undo and a redo, and of course, help. Now you'll notice, because you're savvy, that there's another tab hiding over here. That's because you can choose to use the visual editor, which is what's called a WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. It handles all of the HTML generation for you, so you don't need to look at HTML code in order to blog. Or you can click HTML and hand edit code if you like. As you can see, now we're looking at HTML code, and you can see I have different icons on the toolbar because I have different things that I can do. Bolding, italicized, link, quote, block quote, delete, the strike through or delete can be used with the insert or INS tag, so you delete something and then you wrap the new addition in an INS so that HTML can tell what's been updated. IMG is an image tag. Unordered list, ordered list, list item, code. If you're entering a code example, you would hit code and it would look pre-formatted to look like code. The more tag, which we have explained before. Lookup, which is interesting. You can, if you highlight awesome and click lookup, it actually looks up the word and shows you what it means in a new browser window. And close tags will take a look at all the open tags that are in your blog post and close them for you automatically, which is kind of cool. Now we know how to use the post window. So let's say you want to add an image to this post. Just click the add image button and click select files to upload an image from your computer. And I'm going to upload an image of a Kindle that I have here. Click OK, and then we'll see it uploads it, and then gives me a couple of things that I can change with it. So I can give it a title. I'm just going to call it Kindle 3. Alternate text. Put the Kindle. Caption and description are optional. The link URL is a URL that points directly to this file. You'll probably won't ever use that URL, but it's good to have the option. You can also decide that you don't want to have a link URL. You can put the file URL in there, or you can replace it with the post URL. Alignment, I generally use left, but that's just up to me. That means that the image will appear on the left and the text will flow around it on the right. You can certainly choose right, which is the opposite. Center, which will center it, or none. Have the picture floating around there. I'm going to insert a thumbnail of 150 by 150 because this picture is large. And then we'll insert it into the post. And there you go. We've now inserted an image to the post. And it's very similar to add a video to a post. You just need to have the video on your computer, upload it to WordPress, and it will insert it. So let's close that. That's the body of the post. You can also write a custom excerpt for your blog post in the excerpt field. This will be used as the summary for your feed if you decide not to publish full content on your feed. You can send trackbacks to other blogs that you want to ping when you've published this post. Trackbacks have kind of fallen out of favor because they are mostly used by spammers nowadays. If we scroll down, we can see custom fields allow you to post extra data about the post if you like, and add custom information to your post. It's a little beyond the scope of this video, so we're not going to get into it too much. Discussion is where you can allow or disallow per post comments or trackbacks. So let's say by default you allow comments, but on this post you don't want to allow comments. You just uncheck that. I'm actually going to allow comments. For author, this will show up if you're an administrator, and the drop down shows all the other users, and you can assign this to a different author, but I'm just going to keep it as bungalow admin. Now on the second column is where we got our publish options, which are interesting. Save draft will save this post as a draft. So let's go ahead and do that. And now you can see what happens is we are allowed to, the post has been saved as a draft, and we can click preview post, which I'm going to do. And that's what the post will look like when we have published it. The post has not been published yet, but this is just a preview. And you can see this is a very exciting post. So if we close this window, we can see again that our post has not been published. You can also preview a post by clicking the preview button in the publish module. Now if you look at status, click edit, you can change it from a draft to pending review. Pending review is only used if you decide that you need to review things or you're working in a multi-user blog. If there's only one user, that being you will never need to enter pending review for a post because you're the only person who looks at it. So we'll keep that as draft. Visibility, you can choose if this post is going to be public, which means anyone can read it. You can also stick this post to the front page, which means that no matter what, this post will be shown first on your page. So if I click this box for this post, publish it, and then this post will be the first post on my blog. If you publish new posts, what will generally happen is that those new posts will push down the older posts and they will be on top. If you make this post sticky, it will be on top no matter what other posts are published. You can also password protect a blog post and make it private. So we are going to leave it as public. You can edit the date that a post will go live by clicking edit right next to publish immediately. And you can set a time or date. You can also set a time in the past or time in the future. If you set a time in the future and hit publish, it will publish that date only when that time comes. So if I decide to publish this in 2 days from now, I can change this to October 28th, hit publish. You can now see that the status is scheduled because it's not actually live yet on my blog. If I go to my blog, you can see that post is not there. But in 2 days, it will automatically show up. And you can see since this post is now published, even though it's going to be published in the future, the save button has changed to an update button because I am updating these options instead of creating them anew. Now I'm going to turn your attention to one last thing in the publish module, and that is this red link called move to trash. If you click that, it'll be moved to the trash. And if it's been published to your blog, it'll be removed from the blog so no one can see it anymore. One other thing to note, as this post has been published, is now we have a new button called Get Short Link. If you click on that, it shows you a short link to your post. Remember in the last lesson I said that this URL is no good because no one remembers it and the search engines don't like it. That's still true, but it's shorter, so if you're going to use it for Twitter or Facebook or something where you need a shorter URL, this short link will do fine. Underneath the Publish module, we have the Categories module, and beneath the Categories module is the Post Tags module. The categories are more hierarchical than tags. Tags are a little more free-form, and they are used to describe the post in more detail. Think of categories more as broad categories that all of your posts fall into, whereas tags allow you to fine-tune it a little. At the moment, we don't have any categories, so if you click Add New Category, you can add a category. So this has a Kindle in it, so I'm going to add Kindle as a category, and I'm going to make it a parent category. There we go. And since I know that this is a Kindle 3, I'm going to add a Kindle 3 category as well. But what I want to do is I want that category to show up underneath the Kindle category. So under this parent category list, I'm going to pick Kindle and click Add New, and you can see that the Kindle 3 category is now a child category of the Kindle category. If I don't want a category to be applied to this post, I simply uncheck it, like uncategorized, which isn't a great category. So let's add another category, gadgets. And you'll notice new categories are automatically applied. Now when you have a lot of categories, it can get cluttered. But luckily the most used categories tab surfaces your most used categories in an easy to click list. Since we haven't had any categories added and we haven't used any, the only one here is uncategorized. Tags are different than categories because they aren't as hierarchical, so you can just add freeform tags. So I'm going to add an Amazon tag, an e-reader tag, and a gray tag because it's gray. Separate each tag with a comma and then hit add, and you can see each of our tags was added. Now when you have a lot of tags, you can actually choose from the most used tags. I don't have any tags except for the ones I just did. Now let's say I don't want Amazon to be tagged on this post anymore. I just hit the X and it's gone. If I want Amazon to come back, I just type in Amazon and add it again. The final module in the post screen is set featured image. As you can see, this is just like the upload image that we use to add an image to a post. You can upload it from your computer if you have an image there. You can add a URL from another website. This is frowned upon because it's called hot linking, and that means that you are using someone else's bandwidth for your blog, so I would suggest you not do this. Whenever you have an image or images associated with a post, WordPress automatically creates a gallery for that post, and all of the pictures in that post are shown. Media Library tracks all of the images that have been uploaded to your blog, and you can pick from all of them. Since I only have one, it's not very exciting. You click Show, and you can see information about your image. If you look at the post menu, you'll notice that you can go to the post management screen, you can add a new post, and there's also two links, one for categories and one for tags. If you go to the categories link, this takes you to the manage categories screen, where you can add new categories, delete categories, or move categories around. So let's add another category, and we'll call this blogging. We can create our own slug, which will be the permalink to that category. And we can even add a description. So we'll do all about blogging. And much like the add a category in the post screen, you could add a parent. I'm not going to add a parent to this one. I'm just going to click add new category. And there you go. If you look at the category list and hover over a category, you have a couple of actions that you can do. You can edit it, which brings you to the edit category where you can change any of those settings. Let's go back to categories, because I'm not going to actually do that. You can do a quick edit, wherein you can just change the name or the slug of the category and then hit update. Or you can delete a category. And now WordPress says, are you sure you want to delete this category? And if there are posts in the category, those posts are not deleted, so don't worry. You click OK, and the category is deleted. You can also do some bulk actions. So if you click the checkbox next to a bunch of categories, you can delete them all by selecting delete from bulk actions and then clicking apply. You can also search categories if you like. Now under post tags, you'll see it looks exactly like categories. You can add a new tag right from here. So let's do e-ink because I'm obsessed with it. I like it. And then you click add new tag just like a category, and it's created. Much like categories, edit, quick edit, or delete show up when you hover over a tag. Click quick edit, you can edit the slug or the name. Click edit, and it takes you to the edit screen where you can also edit the description. And of course, if you want to delete more than one tag, use the bulk action. And so that's a quick overview of tags, categories, and posts. This lesson also includes pages. So if you click on the pages, you will see a very similar management screen to the posts management screen. But pages are different. So what makes a page different than a post? Well, it's not chronological. Posts are very tied to a time and a date. Pages are more timeless. They are static content for your blog, where blog posts are kind of ephemeral and they move through time. They get pushed down and they get off your front page. A page never changes. It's always the same. Of course, you can update content on a page, so don't worry about that. Pages also don't have categories or tags applied to them, so there's no way to organize them or categorize them. And they have a different permalink structure. Since they don't have that time element to them, it wouldn't make any sense to have, the date and the day that the page was created. So the permalink structure generally looks like your blog link. So in my case, it would be ipadbungalow.com/about, and that would be a permalink to an about page. Click on the pages menu item, and that will take you to the Manage Pages screen, which looks very much like the Manage Posts screen. And let's click on this About page. Every installation of WordPress comes with an About page. It's the same About page, and it has the same text in it as an example of a WordPress page. Now this looks an awful lot like the Edit Post screen, with a few exceptions. As we said before, there are no categories or tags, so the category and tag module doesn't show up. And that's pretty much the biggest difference between this and the Edit Post screen. Everything else is exactly the same. Take a look at the Page Attributes module down here, and you can see that this is something that's different than posts. You have a template option and an order option. Template option, now depending on your theme, will have different templates for pages. By default, the page will look like your ordinary WordPress theme. So in our case, let's take a look at this page right now before we change it. And you can see this looks just like, if I were to go home, this page looks just like, this is what the home page of my blog looks like, and let's compare that to the about page. It looks exactly the same because it's using the same template. If I change this to use this one column no sidebar template and hit update, now if I update this page, refresh it, now you'll see that the sidebar is gone because it's using a different template. Now templates vary from theme to theme, so you'll have to see if your theme comes with a template for pages. If it doesn't, you won't have any options under here, and you'll just use the default template. Pages generally appear in order alphabetically on the menu bar of your blog. If you want to change the order, you enter a number here to change the order, where 1 lists first, 2 is second, and so on. I'm just going to leave it as it was. And there you have the rundown on pages and posts in WordPress.